President Biden paid tribute today to the Army Rangers who stormed the beaches of Normandy 80 years ago this week and drew parallels between Nazi Germany's invasion of Europe then to Russia's invasion of Ukraine today. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports the president's message to the world was clear, a plea to defend democracy.
President Biden's helicopter swooped over the 100-foot sheer cliffs of Pointe du Hoc, scaled by American Army Rangers 80 years ago, and celebrated by the commander-in-chief today.
I've long said that history has shown that ordinary Americans can do extraordinary things when challenged. There's no better example of that in the entire world than right here at Pointe du Hoc.
He used the stunning backdrop to argue the best way Americans can honor their sacrifice is to sustain democracy at home and in places like Ukraine.
They fought to vanquish a hateful ideology in the 30s and 40s. Does anyone doubt they wouldn't move heaven and earth to vanquish hateful ideologies of today?
The speech had echoes of Republican President Ronald Reagan's address from the same spot 40 years ago this week.
It is better to be here ready to protect the peace than to take blind shelter across the sea, rushing to respond only after freedom is lost.
We spoke to the lone World War II veteran in attendance, John Wardell, who was just an 18-year-old private when he came ashore.
I just thank God that I was able to come here and stop here today and to be here.
Earlier, the president met with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, also in France to mark D-Day, and to appeal to world leaders for help in the fight against Russia. President Biden announced another $225 million worth of aid, including air defense equipment, armored vehicles, and anti-tank weapons. And in a notable rebuke of conservative lawmakers who held up billions in aid earlier this year, the president apologized for the delays.
I apologize for those weeks of not knowing what's going to happen in terms of funding, because we had trouble getting the bill that we had to pass that had the money in it.
The president's trip continues Saturday with an official state visit and ends Sunday with a stop at an American World War I cemetery. Then he flies home and turns around just 3 days later, coming back here to Europe for the G7 summit in Italy. Margaret?
An unusual amount of foreign travel in an election year. Ed, we'll be watching.